and especially we got some of us have been spending all night together, which has been great, but it's a bit tough. I'm aware that Mike and Tony are still competing for the winner, who is going to win the ultra marathon. I'm not sure who spent more hours in the space, in the virtual space. So this is the time for the closing remarks. So what's going to happen here now? I'm going to ask Mike Wilson on behalf of the Storytelling Academy at Loughborough University, and Darren Milligan on behalf of the Smithsonian Center. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. On behalf of the Smithsonian Institution, and in particular, the Smithsonian Center for Learning and Digital Access. And then we got Bev and Bill from UMBC, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and I think Sara Ducey on behalf of the Montgomery College. So why them? Because they are the key members, the crazy people who decided when we were in Zakynthos to actually organize and co-host this plan of 2 face-to-face conferences. So as you know, we had to postpone the 2020 conference in Loughborough, but we hope to actually build the momentum, after this marathon, and have you at Loughborough next year. So we do hope so. And then will be the turn of our friends on the East Coast, so the Smithsonian Institution, Montgomery College, and UMBC, to have all of us there in 2023. So we do hope to actually work on this program together. And we also have Tony, who is, because we want Tony to win the marathon, he will be the one closing the closing remarks, because he has something to say about a digital collection that we are developing, and we do hope to have you on board and to have you part of this collection. In the meantime, I created a new column on the Padlet that is for you to add your own closing remarks. That would be great. So if you want to spend a minute just to add a thought, a comment, a message, something you want to share, a link, a picture, whatever you want to share in your closing remarks, just to leave your comment about this 24, 25, 26-hour marathon. So may I invite Mike to actually kick off the closing remarks. Let's spend 2-3 minutes each to make sure that, let's say within 10 extended minutes, we can close the actual conference.
Great, thank you, Antonia. Well, we made it, we did it. And
you survived.
I survived, yeah. And as Bev got in before me, but I think Tony and I are going to cross the finishing line hand in hand together in true collaborative fashion. Well, what a great 26 hours it's been. I did a little calculation. A marathon is 26.2188 miles. And if we work on the basis of 1 hour to 1 mile, and the fact that actually some of us were, although we started officially at 4 o'clock British summer time yesterday, we were actually online a bit before that, just testing the technical thing. I think we should come in pretty much at the required 26 hours, 13 minutes and 8 seconds, which would be the equivalent. I did a little bit of maths there, you'll notice. So I think we're right on course for our marathon. And what a fantastic time it's been. Real variety, fantastic papers, superb creative contributions as well. And we've shown that we can do this. I mean, there's been a lot of challenges over the last year and a half, but one of the things that has come out of it is our ability to use this technology to connect us all in ways like this. And I'm certainly not suggesting that this kind of format should replace our face-to-face meetings, because we're really looking forward to seeing everybody next year in Loughborough. But maybe this is something that can give us additionality to what we do and can help us maintain and build our community. And maybe it's something we ought to do, well, not too often, please, but just now and again as well. Now, I'd normally leave the thanks to the end, but I do want to get some thanks in early, because otherwise I might forget, and they're too important to forget. And I really want to thank the organising committee, who worked really hard. It really has been a team effort to put this 26-hour marathon on. So thank you to everybody. And we've come from all corners of the globe to meet to plan this. Particularly, I want to thank my colleagues at Loughborough, particularly Antonia, Lindsay, who's helped out, and especially Sally behind the scenes, because Sally's the one who's answered all the emails and has got the programme together and has done all that behind the scenes work that we don't see really. So I do want to make sure that Sally is properly thanked, but Antonia has been the kind of the driving creative force behind this. So thank you so much. I'm sure there are other people we need to thank as well, but if I haven't mentioned you, you know who you are, and you are very much, we're very grateful to you for everything you've done. There've been a number of things, the themes that have come out of the 26 hours, although it's been very varied. I've heard the idea of slow storytelling come up a few times, and that's something I know that we in the Storytelling Academy have been talking about for the last year or so, and started to theorize around that. So that was very interesting to see that idea come out. And of course, one of the things that's come up time and time again is the idea of language and multilingual communities, because of course we talk about languages in terms of there's English and Italian and French and German, but of course all of these languages don't exist in a vacuum. All languages are dialogues with other languages, and they're always constantly being reinvented and renegotiated in those dialogues between different languages. We reinvent those languages every time we speak them. And then, of course, there are other kinds of languages. There are physical languages, gestural languages, facial languages, and of course, we've talked about the language of storytelling as well, as a way of building those bridges across our communities. Quite rightly, I think the last 26 hours has been an opportunity to celebrate the work that our community has done since we met in Zakynthos. And it's such fantastic and varied work as well. And the reason we're able to celebrate that is because I see the work that is constantly reinventing itself, constantly pushing against the boundaries and coming up with new ways of extending and evolving digital storytelling as a practice. So I suppose my final plea for you is, in order for us to be celebrating again, let's always be our own critics. Let's be our fiercest critics and do our critical work, because that's the way that we move things forward. Let's always be challenging ourselves to do more with storytelling. So that's all I want to say. I want to say thank you to all of you for attending. We've had, say, 500 registrations over the past 26 hours. I've got too many memories. I need to digest, I think, now. Actually, no, I need to go to bed, and I will dream of the last 26 hours and relive it all over again. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll hand back to Antonia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mike, for your kind words and your brilliant way of summarizing very important concepts. That I was just drafting some notes on the Padlet for us to keep in mind. And now I would like to invite to this conversation Darren Milligan, who is the acting director of the Smithsonian Center for Learning and Digital Access, that is a key partner in this 2-year plan. Thank you for joining us, Darren.
Thank you, Antonia, and thanks to all of you. I'm bit of a new face in this room, but I want to thank you all for welcoming me over the past a few days. Most of you know Philippa Rappaport, who leads brilliantly, beautifully leads our partnership from the Smithsonian side. And she unfortunately wasn't able to be here for the last hour of the conference, but she prepared a few notes and a few thanks for me to pass along to you. So I'm really grateful to be here to do that with all of you. We really want to thank everyone for putting together this whirlwind, amazing sort of project. And, you know, I know Philip and I are really looking forward to what this grows into when we're hopefully back in person in the near future. A special thanks to Antonio, to Mike, to Sally from the Loughborough team, and our local partners at Montgomery College, to Sarah, Jamie, and Matt, as well as UMBC, Bev, Bill, and Charlotte. I think I've met many of you, but not all of you yet, but I'm looking forward to that. It's a really interesting and a really important moment at the Smithsonian. This summer, we're celebrating our 175th birthday anniversary since our founding in 1846. And part of that, with our new leadership under our secretary, Lonnie Bunch, who was the founding director of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, we're renewing our commitment to engaging and inspiring people to expanding knowledge, but primarily to bringing out unheard voices and to bring about the kinds of conversations that I think have happened here over the last 26 hours, these important conversations of our shared experiences and how they affect the United States, but really how they affect all of us as humans. The Smithsonian's had an office dedicated to pan-institutional education, the center where Philip and I work, for nearly 50 years. And just this past Sunday on June 2nd, the Learning Lab, hopefully all of you have had a chance to check out over the last few days, celebrated its 5th birthday. So a lot of important moments at the Smithsonian right now. We're also in the middle of a pretty significant expansion. 6 months ago, our Congress passed legislation to create 2 new museums that will be under the Smithsonian umbrella. We have 19 museums now, but we have 2 really important museums coming in the next few decades: the National Museum of the American Latino and the Smithsonian American and Women's History Museum. And we're all really excited to see those museums grow and become an important part of the work that we do here in DC and around the world. So Philippa wanted me to pass along how, I guess, and I think from the Smithsonian's perspective too, how mindful and grateful we are to this group. The exploration that we've seen here, using storytelling to bring about these unheard stories and to nurture, I think, the connections that I know Philip and I and many of us in this space really value with museum partners, with education partners, and our community partners. So again, from Philippa and from myself from the Smithsonian, thank you so much for having us be part of this. And we are looking forward to growing that relationship and that partnership in the future. So thank you all. Thanks, Antonio. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Darren, for your lovely words, and always for your support and your brilliant guidance. And yeah, so you are an inspiration. So the Learning Lab, we all know what it is because we have built our own Learning Lab collection, and we are posting all our video recordings. I just copied again the link in the chat, and we hope in the next 24 hours or a bit more to upload the final recording. So we have already part A, part B, part C, and we are going to upload all the other ones. And so that will be our space to actually enjoy the conversation that we may have missed. So thank you again, Darren. And I would now ask Bev and Bill from UMBC to join in and share a few closing remarks from their perspective.
Thanks, Antonia. I'm going to get us started. I woke up this morning thinking about everything I dreamed about in the conference yesterday. And so I just want to read a couple of thoughts. This conference has vibrated with the question, what does it mean to be human in this time and in all of these places? Joe yesterday talked about a new tenderness, a vulnerability that's activated by new ways of listening, maybe. And we've just spent this summer solstice listening to and reflecting on all these moving and provocative stories. Our story work as a slower reflective practice is a theme that I think has been woven through this conversation. So now what do we do with it all? I think first we sit with profound gratitude to Antonia and Mike and Sally and the entire organizing committee for weaving us from extremely isolated individuals over this past year and a half into a powerful collective we. And that we will look and listen back to the amazing collection on the Learning Lab as we prepare to meet again next year at University of Loughborough. And then in 2023, the Washington-Baltimore group hopes to locate and create spaces and experiences for all of us to come together in different communities in this region to learn about the urgent story work of those places and that future time. We hope you will join us in 2023. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bev.
And I can only echo what Bev said. I actually didn't think I was going to make it this morning because I had to break away for the Baltimore Field School, where we are actually talking about a lot of these same issues and how our practice can impact communities and the importance of story in communities. And again, I hope in 2023 that you can see some of that work when you come here. But finally, I just want to thank you all for doing this. I remember Antonia and I having conversations about this in Zakynthos, and I was wondering what was going to happen. And Joe and I had a conversation, and he said, if the Loughborough people will just make anything happen, they would. So I think that confidence was well-founded. So thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. So, and we look forward actually to the 2023 event. So we are already thinking about next year, but also the year after. So we can't wait to that. And another key partner on the East Coast that is very close to my heart, because when I was a fellow at the Smithsonian, I think that the Montgomery College was my home. So it was the home for my research, but also the home because I found so many lovely people. So it's just a place of lovely people. So thank you. Of course, Jamie and Matt have been closer to you both. And Sara, you are the most energetic person I could hope to work with. And of course, we had Serena closing the talk, and she's been a very dear friend as well.
Oh my gosh. So Antonia, there's a story about an American individual who traveled across dispersing apple seeds, Johnny Appleseed. And somehow in this moment, I feel like you are digital storytelling Appleseed, running around and just sharing your ideas, the propagation, the magical sharing that you have done for us. And I'll tell the audience that you came to us 3 years ago, did a workshop, and it was just like being hit with a good kind of a lightning bolt. And we now have a community of practice with staff and faculty of over 100 people who are participating in digital storytelling in one shape, way, or form. And it's really because of your inspiration and that first lightning bolt. So we are just so grateful to you for that. And also too, for the leadership on this conference, because this wouldn't have happened without your just absolute power to do so. And it's funny, I almost feel like a student once said something like, do you teach algebra? And I said, no. And they said, well, I think if you taught algebra, I could get it. And I want to say that the line about Loughborough, if Loughborough would get involved, it would happen. I feel like you guys could do anything. Maybe you could teach algebra too. You are the catalyst for all this. You are that seed crystal, and you have made it so. Working with the Loughborough team on Mike and Sally and Lindsay and all, we just are so grateful to you. And we're just really want to say, I can't possibly say enough about the planning committee. I am so admiring of the teamwork, the collaboration, and the true commitment. I must say thank you and honor the two at my college who are so inspirational and so special. And that's Jamie Gillen and Matthew Decker. We call him Matt. They make this work for us and for this conference here. The East Coast team in the US includes the Smithsonian Institution, Montgomery College, where I am, and UMBC. And you have seen many of us throughout the marathon hours And we are committed to having a wonderful experience for you 2 years out. I do want to echo what Mike had said about what we have learned in really the proof of concept about some of the digital engagement. And I do think we should also be fierce critics of the work we're doing. I think if you match those two together, we can see how we could do digital pieces on both the 22 and 23 that really makes sense for us. I'm saying this, let's see if it works. I stand ready to serve in 2023. We're so excited that people will come here, see what we have to offer. It's a glorious region. We have so much. I just want to have a little bit of fun with the alphabet for you. Using the English alphabet, I came up with some words. I'll keep it short. I'll just say the words and not my other thoughts. Agency, belonging, community, and collaboration. Sometimes I couldn't pick just one word for each alphabet letter. Daring, and daring, that's you, Antonia, for daring to move forward, and we just all fell in line and ran after you. Edifying, future, I might stick in friendship and food with this crowd. Globe, home, integrative, justice, knowing, learning lab, which I have to actually say love for L because I have seen so much love here, and was a big challenge. Music, museums, and maps. Narrative, oral history. P gets Padlet, having a wrestling match with proof of concept. Query, because this group is always asking questions. Raise, as in raise the bar higher, just keep it going. Stories and storytelling. Transformative, understanding. Video, because of the human mind and spirit really wanting to see. Wildly, because this has been the most wildly successful, amazing conference. I can't get over it. Capital XO, which means hugs and kisses in America. I have no idea what it means where you are. And I would say Shi Zi, which is sort of my way of saying in Mandarin, thank you, but I honestly really should have used Cantonese since we were working with people in Hong Kong. Yearning, and Zoom, because Zoom. Thank you all. We look forward to serving you in 2 years.
So we have, thank you, Sarah, thank you, that's been brilliant. And if you could share this list, I think this is something we should keep in mind because it's a great way of summarizing what happened in the last 26 hours, that would be great. And I think F, food, I think it's the winner of this conference, thanks to Buju's idea of the dash of spice. I think that was a fantastic, way of making us happy. Even in this digital space. And the last closing remark is from another friend from the UK, who is Tony Sumner, is the other winner, I think, for the Ultra Marathon Championship.
Yeah, I shall keep this brief because my next Zoom meeting is in 8 minutes' time. As some of you may know, there is a book in progress. To go with that book, we're building a Smithsonian collection to support the things that can't go into the book. So stories, other material. So those of you that wish to contribute or have already decided to contribute to the book, please get in touch with us and we'll see how we can take this forward. I think on the back of the energy and what we've started here with the support stuff for the conference, then I think there's it could be something really nice. Actually, it could be something a really good repository of interesting stuff and useful stuff.
Thank you, Tony. So I think next week, early next week, Sally and I will send an email to all participants with additional information on the book and the digital collection, how to collaborate, how to participate. I heard from one participant about getting a certificate for the participation to the conference. If any of you needs that, please let us know and we'll make that possible anyway, to justify your participation or just to celebrate your participation. So again, massive thanks to each presenter, each chair, the fantastic host we had, the performances we've been listening to, the fantastic experiences we had in music, food, everything we shared in this 26 hours. I think just a big hug. It's a shame we can't touch each other. And but that would be my way of just, you know, celebrating this fantastic experience and rejoice in being reunited finally. Thank you all.
Stopwatch says 26 hours, 13 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. We break the tape.
Be well, take care.
I think that's my first and only marathon.
Well done, you made it.
Thank you. Woohoo!
Wow, what a
Thank
treat.
you.
What a treat.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
So awesome. Hmm. Antonia, you rock. This was so fantastic. I just can't say enough.